I want to present myself. My name is Andonis Philippidis. I'm the general manager of a Turkish healthcare IT solution provider. We are one of the oldest and among the biggest, the largest companies here in Turkey. We're developing quite few solutions in healthcare. Active in, as Jeng said, in hospital information system. We are among the leading companies here in Turkey offering HIS solutions to hospitals. But today, I will focus on mobile health and the concepts that we have developed together with partners, of course, and realized in Turkey and outside of Turkey. It's a different concept because we do not want to look into the relation between patient and provider only, like the transmission of data. But we intend to provide a holistic view, a holistic business model, if you wish, that includes several players. In this regard, I have, and I will make a few comments to the previous presentations, especially the presentation of Mr. Rainer Herzog. Vielen Dank, das war eine sehr schöne Präsentation. This was, I will touch a few points, and you will see as well some common points with standards and best practices provided by HIMSS. Now, what is the motivation for a company or for anyone to act and to present something in mobile health? Of course, the global challenges of non-communicable diseases, NCDs. As you can see here, we have, if you look globally, we have a 50 to 80% disease burden are represented by those NCDs. I will, in the next slide, get into detail what NCDs are, what kind of NCDs we are targeting. The challenge basically is not to treat non-communicable diseases, but to prevent those. So we're talking about prevention. That's why we need to use telemedicine technology within the context of telemedicine in order to offer services to special groups that are affected by those NCDs in order to prevent or at least to guarantee a certain quality of life. Now, if we see look into numbers, these are World Health Organization and McKinsey numbers that I listed here. We have worldwide approximately 1 billion adults overweight, obese. Now, all of us know that obesity is basically the major cause of other diseases as well, like high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes. All of that is interconnected. So we have, as you see, 860 million chronic disease patients. This is directly related with each other. We have approximately 600 million, if not more, and this is an increasing number, of elderly patients, of elderly citizens of the age of 60 and more. And all of us, until now, we saw and we heard that this number is going to increase. We're going towards an aging society, so the burden, the cost burden, the financial burden that our governments will have to face is incredibly high. So we need to prevent as well cost spendings while maintaining the quality of service, the quality of healthcare towards patients and citizens. Now, these are the chronic diseases that are mostly widespread, and we are offering solutions basically in order to prevent and to offer services to maintain basically a status if someone has those conditions. Diabetes, cardiac arrhythmias, congestive heart failure, etc. are among the most widespread ones. Now, in order to be able to offer anything, we need to manage the diseases. And in order to manage the diseases, we need to use and develop technology. Now, it is not only necessary to use technology. Everyone provides technology. It's the idea. And it's the different roles that need to be taken into consideration in order to guide a chronic patient through his disease. We will see in the next slide. First of all, let me give some definitions. Well, we're talking here about telemedicine, mHealth. I understand, and I would like to agree on those terms with you. Telemedicine, mHealth, is healthcare at a distance. It's healthcare over mobile devices. E-health is basically electronically delivered healthcare-related service. Now, all of those services here, and these terminology and the definitions, are being used in areas as health and wellness, aging, disease management, aging independently, home care services for elderly people, etc. Now, we're focusing here on telemedicine, mHealth, and here I'm going to bring a few more numbers. These are accurate websites, recent websites that I searched for the last 2-3 days. There is BizDec Africa. It's a website in Africa. It's a very well known news portal. In the backside, you see the first portal up there. It says that 2018, and this is the result of the Juniper research report. 2018, we will have 96 million users of mHealth and mobile fitness applications. Now, that is the key word here that I want to point out. It's mobile fitness and mHealth. It goes along. We must see it in a different context. It's not only just sending blood pressure devices or ECGs. I have here a mobile device, it's an iPhone, which I'm using for myself to have my ECG generated and to send it to my doctor. Now, this is not only the case. We need to look into more. We need to look into fitness. We need to look into guidance. However, if we see today, we have 15 million users of mHealth applications. Now, why this increase? All of us are speaking about business, or speaking about challenges, especially the Ministry of Health is getting prepared to face the challenge of growing demand for healthcare services. Now, we are living in a society that is stabilizing, that is living in higher standards. If you see the growth from 15 to 96 within the next 5 years is motivated by an increasing demand for healthier lifestyle. Today, in one of the previous sessions, one colleague here just asked the question, how many of you are using mobile fitness applications, have downloaded a mobile fitness application? Almost everyone just raised his hand. Basically, this is directly related to this statement here. Anyways, if you see pages or portals like Total Coaching. Total Coaching is a fitness portal that offers an excellent service, a managed service, where really professional coaches are coaching someone to do fitness, and it offers as well a self-coaching possibility. So you have Practice Fusion. This is United States online #1 EMR portal that offers solution to doctors, very close to the Turkish family physician model here, to manage the electronic health records of their patients. We have our companies offering Avicenna personal health record solutions in order to combine with our telemedicine solutions and allow the user to grab his data, something similar that the ministry here, the Social Security want to do. We have excellent webpage, a portal here in Turkey, Doktor Sitesi, which is very high frequently visited by over 1.5 million people that are seeking for information, like dedicated specific information on healthcare issues. We have on the other side doctors that are providing very specific, very high quality information. So if you look into MyFitnessPal, it's the world's most used application for fitness purpose. It offers you a lot of information regarding your dietary information and brings it into relation with your fitness activity. Now, all of that needs to be taken into one concept if you want to offer a good healthcare service to the patient. A doctor needs a lot of information. He needs fitness-related information. He needs medical information in order to do a correct assessment, a very accurate assessment. So all of those pages here are offering these type of bits and pieces to be combined. Let me continue. We're coming here to the holistic solution approach. You see, we have healthcare providers. These are hospital, home care service providers. These are GPs. These are fitness centers. These are fitness coaches. We call those guys healthcare providers. We have the patients on the one side, on the other side. These are the ones that utilize those services. We have a need to educate the patient about those services. A patient needs to know exactly everything and in a very easy way related to his disease. We need, from the point of view of governments, of ministries of health, to be able to manage diseases on a large scale or on a smaller scale. We need to include in all this concept here telecommunication and technical service providers, otherwise it won't work. Now, if Avea, if Turkcell, if Turkish Telecom, if Vodafone type of companies wouldn't exist, we wouldn't be able to offer mobile services. So we depend on these guys as well. They are an integral part of the whole concept. We have private-public insurance companies, SEGECA. That's the reason why you guys are here. That's the reason why most of the Turkish insurance companies are here today. So we're speaking about something that is going to affect their business directly because it affects the patient himself. Of course, all of that needs to be done now through utilization of latest technology, standardized technology. And this is basically where I want to thank Rainer Herzog for his, presentation. We're speaking about standards that need to be followed, standards that are required for interoperation, for intercommunication and inter-exchange of information. We're living in a globalized world. If we do not use standards and everyone comes up and develops anything that he wants the way he wants, we will end up in a mess and in a chaos. So you see, that is a holistic approach that we as DataCell, as company, are supporting and using in order to create our solutions. If we look into the business point of view, there are commercial activities, of course, behind our efforts here to provide technology. I can tell you the following thing. We are providing software as a service, cloud-based solutions to providers. These are doctors, these are clinics, these are hospitals. Now, we have here a B2B, a business-to-business approach that targets thousands of customers. Those are all those small clinics. Those are the family physicians. In Turkey alone, we have 22,500. And the ministry is targeting to increase this number to 32,000. In the UAE, where we are offering those services, we have approximately 3,000 clinics, specialized clinics. In Saudi Arabia, where we do as well offer our solutions, we're talking about several tens of thousands clinics and specialized doctors that are in need of those solutions. Now, if you go a step further and you want to see the business model as well, then you have telemedicine services that can be offered by doctors and specialists to patients. And we're speaking about 100,000, and it goes like that up to millions. That is another motivation that drives us. Now, let's continue. A concept that we are supporting here includes, as you see here, solution provider, service, cloud provider, network provider, and the medical service provider. In this regard, we have launched recently Turkey's largest telemedicine, nationwide telemedicine project with an excellent company like Eczacıbaşı. And, of course, utilizing the network of Avea. To offer those. But the important thing is, if you see on the right side, we have health insurers, we have hospitals, and we have the private care. Now, insurance companies must be brought into the game as well. They are the social part. This is excellent that in Turkey we have such a strong wish to provide those services to citizens from the governmental point of view. But in the rest of the world, we have the private sector very much involved in those. If we look into this whole concept, with all the portals and all the services I mentioned before, we come to following conclusion. We have the patient, so we're talking here about a patient-centric approach. We have the patient, he's using some hardware, whatever hardware it is, he's using some cloud-based service, and then he's using some telecommunication infrastructure to interact with providers, whoever these guys are, to interact with web services. These could be fitness portals, these could be PHR portals, these could be anything that has somehow relation to healthcare, his own healthcare. We need to manage this interaction. We need to provide this patient call center services to guide him through this jungle. And of course, we must support with logistics. If I'm using this telephone, which I told you I have an ECG device here on my iPhone, this is an ECG. I can show you how it works. I am a little bit fanatic in that, and I'm using as well my own Fitbit device. So just me, I have 2 medical devices. So I need somehow to manage it. I need to be guided. And that's why we need, call center services. These call centers are not administrative. They are, of course, administrative nature, but medical nature as well. Someone needs to interact with me and my condition. We heard so many models today. We have doctors, nurses interacting, sending SMSs outside, warning messages, reminders, appointment reminders, anything. All of that. And of course, because we are in a commercial entity, we need to think about sales and support. Now, all of that, except the big part here in the web and all the web services here, have been realized and have been provided here in Turkey with the project that I mentioned before. And we are talking here about hardware. Everyone is showing certain medical devices. We are convinced as DataCell that those devices are going to be obsolete. And as you see, we have here different brands, from Omron, Ronin, Nonin, Microlife, HomeMedics, LifeScan, Polar, A&D, all of that. Have you heard the news related with iPhone 5S? The iPhone 5S substitutes this device here. I paid like $120 to buy this, but I don't need this anymore because this functionality is already built in. So we won't need that. We will need services in the backside independent from hardware. If you see into the holistic approach, we are talking here about a cloud-based system that combines EMR services, clinic management services, personal health record services, telemedicine services, in a data center, wherever cloud-based it is, always based and according to local regulations and security standards. Again, here I want to show, or I want to pass over to organizations like HIMSS, because they set the standards. And of course, we need to back this up with value-adding services, I said. Clinic management for doctors, total coaching for patients, doctor CTC in order to get information about condition, Sağlık kitapçım.com in order to gather and to be managed in one's condition. But all of that, all this information gathered here needs to be somehow combined in a central data, e-health data repository so that the doctor can utilize it and come up with the most accurate statements. Anyways, I won't go too much into that. Just, you see, holistic view on mobile diabetes monitoring. Basically, I'm just coming here with examples on which parties are, you give me 2 minutes and I'm done. On which parties are involved or should be involved or could be involved. We have in diabetes monitoring, we have telecommunication, we have healthcare providers, IT solution providers, regulators, of course, and insurance companies, of course. All of these parties are today here. So Benefits to patients, I'm just passing this by because we had enough chance to listen to discussions today. What the patient is benefiting, how the patient is benefiting for those out of this technology. And we have here the providers, they have as well benefits. We're talking here about cost savings. This is something that Social Security and insurance companies are interested in. This is something that hospital providers and healthcare providers are interested in. And this is something the patient himself is interested in. If he has to pay less for higher quality service, everyone is going to be happy. Now, again, health insurance as well. If we want to wrap this thing up, and I will wrap it up right now, we have patient-provider relation. This is the traditional relation that we're talking about. We have the payer that must be included inside. We have the regulator. We have wellness, fitness type, let's call it personal health services. And we have anything else that was talked about here today. All of that needs to interact in order to have a sustainable telemedicine mHealth concept that is acceptable and sustainable over time. Now, if we want to see as well the effect of usage of technology, I have some sources here. I can share it with you. These are some NHS tests that have been, or trials that have been made, just in order to find out and to prove the cost effectiveness and the overall effectiveness of telemonitoring. Just like that. What kind of solutions are we offering? Just to give you some screens, what are we talking about? This is our family physician software that is being offered to Turkey's family physicians, aile hekimliği. We have solutions for private doctors that are required as well to use software solutions here. All of that online and all of that already natively integrated with a variety of medical telemedicine devices. Call center, which I mentioned before, you need not only to interact with the patient, but you need to initiate actions as well. All of that is being done by solutions like that. Just a few screens. The patient himself shall have access to his own data in a secure, standardized way always. Medical call center, just a few screens. You see GIS services included inside there. These are a must. Health portal patient education. I'm very much pushing on this service here because I'm convinced this is one of the most valuable portals and most valuable sources for information here in Turkey. Everyone can find really accurate information here. Now, if you link that to telemedicine, then you have a really excellent sustainable business model. One thing that I would like to point out, it's maybe the third minute that I'm using now. Is it over time? Okay. Anyway, telemedicine can be seen in different contexts. We are doing telemedicine projects for ambulance services in Saudi Arabia, connecting them with emergency departments in public hospitals. That is telemedicine as well. Just having said this, I hope I didn't bother you too much. Sorry for taking 8 minutes more, and thank you a lot.